guys, what's up? Okay, so I've been getting these major downloads starting last night about the last Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, which was January 3rd of 1518. I'm driving to a catering job, and so I had to make a video because what always happens, it seems, is that I get this information and then I have life happen and then I never share it, so I'm trying to correct that. So January 3rd, 1518, Saturn and Pluto were at 4 degrees of Capricorn. And actually, Anastasia, Cosmic Astrologer on YouTube, posted the chart yesterday, and this is what started this all, because when I saw 4 degrees Capricorn, I immediately thought about the eclipse that we have coming up on December 26th, and it is at 4 degrees Capricorn, so that is activating that degree. So then I pulled up the, let's see, I have it all written down. During that conjunction, the sun was at 22 Capricorn, which is the degree on January 12th that Pluto and Saturn will meet again. So it's like the sun was shining a light on that degree back then, and now that's where Saturn and Pluto will meet again. So I decided to Google what happened in 1518, and the first thing that came up was Martin Luther. And, you know, I've heard the name, obviously. I know that's who Martin Luther King was named after, but I really didn't know exactly what he did. I guess I didn't listen in history. So he is the German man that basically single-handedly opposed the Roman Catholic Church, who at that time, it was the medieval times, they were basically controlling the power and money and the people, definitely in Europe, but also beyond Europe. And so as I'm researching, I find out that he was actually in law school and got struck by lightning, which made me think of Uranus. Got struck by lightning in 1505, and it totally changed the course of his life. He ended up dropping out of law school and 12 days later entering the monastery, and he became a monk. And so his whole thing with the Protestant Reformation was that basically that the priesthood was invented by man, and that the Roman Catholic Church was fallible, because at the time most humans weren't literate, and so the only person that could tell them the scripture was the parish priest, which, if you think about it, that right there is a lot of power, because they could basically tell the people that scripture said whatever they wanted it to say to fit their needs. And so the big thing that he first started fighting against was something called indulgences. So basically the church would collect money from the parishioners to shorten their time in purgatory. They could basically buy an indulgence, which cost about, in Germany it was 3 marks, which was about half of the average person's annual salary. And that if they paid the church that, they would get a little slip of paper to say that their time in purgatory would be shorter. So just think about this. These are people paying money, it's so crazy to me, to this middleman for the salvation of their souls. I mean, that is just insane to have that much power. So Martin Luther agreed with that, and that is how all of the denominations ultimately got started, was they broke away from the Catholic Church. And if we think about it now, the Vatican still has a tremendous amount of power. The thought that came to me last night is that, you know, I believe that they are very heavily involved with the human trafficking, specifically the child trafficking And so I think with this conjunction, another huge reform is coming, and this time it's for the children, because they have to have a voice. And I don't know, maybe I'm supposed to be one of those voices, I don't know. Anyway, okay, there's so much more, but I'm literally pulling up to this job, and so I'm just going to put this out there. I feel like there was another chart, though, that I wanted to talk about. Oh, yes. Okay, the prenatal, if we call it that, the prenatal eclipse to the last conjunction, so the solar eclipse that happened before the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in 1518, was in 1517, and the sun and the moon were at 0 Capricorn. So that is the degree that the sun is about to move into tomorrow on the solstice. And I've got that chart. There was something else with that chart. Let's see. It was a south node eclipse, and the south node and I believe Mars were in the galactic center at the end of Sagittarius. And so the prenatal eclipse for this conjunction is the one on December 26th. So there's just lots to look at and lots to research, but I'm excited and I just wanted to share.